Hello. Welcome to another moment with Mommy G. I want to thank all those who have subscribed and encourage those who haven't to do so, especially the young people. Encourage your friends to subscribe for this episode to them, and they'll be encouraged to, because as you know, there are a lot of interesting tips on the challenges that you all go through as adolescents and young adults. Well, today I want to sound out the opinion about children, or some children not knowing their father's identities. In fact, in the birth certificate of some children, it is written père inconnu. That is in French, which means father unknown. And for some people, they will just leave the space for father blank. And in some other cases, the girls will write, the names of their own father in the place of the father of the child. This is really not correct, because as we know, as a child grows up, it becomes a whole emotional and psychological issue with them. Many of them want to know their paternity, and we all know of examples where children, get very angry, very frustrated. Some even hold their mother to task with a knife or a cutlass to ask them to disclose the identity of their fathers. And therefore, this is just to encourage, the young people, that no matter the circumstances, you should not deprive the child of their identity, because even the rights of the child in the charter says that the child has a right to paternity. If you are from one country and you have a child with somebody from another country, the child, first of all, is a citizen of his or father's country and not yours. So you should not deprive the child. Some even go as far as telling the child that your father is dead, which is quite unfortunate when the father is alive. And I know the reasons might be understandable. The young people, adolescents especially, for one reason or the other, the boys, when they get pregnant, they disappear into thin air, as I can put it. And even, some young adults, even some old people, come to think of it, who are irresponsible, they refuse to own up to their responsibility by acknowledging the child or by taking care of the child. Even if you don't want to take care of the child, you should acknowledge the fact that you are the father of that child, to make it easy for the child in future. And for the young girls, or for the girls who get pregnant and are abandoned, I know it is something to be very, very angry about. But then your anger should not take it to the extent where you make this mistake of refusing to let the child have his paternal identity. And then when the child grows up and start asking questions, it becomes embarrassing for everybody. Some people, no matter how hard you try to make the child understand that maybe the father is dead, or some will say they are the elder sister, or the child is a younger sibling, there is one nosy person who will one day tell the child that that girl is not your sister, it's your mother. Or those parents you are living in are not your parents, they are your grandparents. Imagine that kind of embarrassment. And I've known a case of a young man in secondary school who wanted to go out with a girl, but he didn't go all the way, only for him to realize at the end of the day that she was his sibling when he insisted, and the mother took him, to the father's house, and behold, he met this very classmate who turned out to be his sibling. So to avoid, embarrassing situations like that, which can lead to to incest. People get married without knowing their siblings or cousins or related in one way or the other. Please do well to disclose the identity of the father of your child. And for the young boys who, for one reason, maybe they're afraid. Another reason, they're not financially stable. They don't have a job. They're still going to school. All those reasons are there, but there is no point, because at the end of the day, the truth will out, as Shakespeare will say. So why don't you tell your parents, especially your mothers who are very understanding, tell your siblings, tell your close cousins, other close relatives, that is the situation. You have a child somewhere. And for the young girls, also inform the boys' parents or relatives, if you know them, tell them that your son, has a child with me, or got me pregnant and doesn't want to own up. Even they don't, but at least the information will be out there that there is a child from such and such a family, with you. Let me tell you an interesting experience of a grandmother who found herself in such a situation. She was told that she had a grandson in one neighborhood, and when she asked her son refused. I don't have a child, it's not me, that girl is lying, it's not my child. So the mother went there to see for herself, and when she went there, she said the child was the exact copy of her son. So she immediately took the child home. She just asked him, pack his things and let me take my grandson home. Fortunately, the maternal parents or family did not argue. They gave him, or gave her the son to take home. And when she reached home, she called the child, said, Serge, viens. A francophone grandparent. He said, regarde-toi-même. Tu ne vas pas ta tête là-bas. La tête de l'enfant, c'est exactement comme la tienne. Tu refuses même quoi. Which means, that the child said, I can see your head, in this child, or on this child, so to say, that the child's head is exactly like yours. So why are you refusing? So to her, that was enough, more than enough proof that the child was fathered by her son. So she took over the grandson. So we grandparents, we are ready to help out in situations like that. So don't be afraid. Other members of the family will be there to be with you. And if the worst comes to the worst, you might do a DNA test. Why not? If you are not so sure, if there are reasons, to make you doubt, you go and do the DNA test and you take your child if it is yours. So, as we know, even from the Bible, it's only Jesus, who was born without sexual intercourse. So, check sense. Maybe beginning they suffer in future because of who my papa, one see my papa, one know my papa, begin to move collapse up and down. So please let the child have their right to their paternal identity, especially. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please, like I said earlier, subscribe and ask your friends to subscribe. Why don't you like? Why don't you leave your comments, share your own experiences, so that we might learn from one another. See you in the next video.